Hi, it's Ron, and I'm back with another awesome synthesizer. This is Hypno 2. Hypno 2 is an all-in-one audio visualizer, video synthesizer, recorder, and re-sampler. Hypno 2 runs 2 channels of glitchable video and can make clips of its own output so you can endlessly layer. So whether you're a touring musician, a installation mastermind, or a clandestine pixel peeper, the possibilities are literally endless. So let's go get them. Hardware overview. Hypno 2 is based on the Raspberry Pi 5 and features a 4-inch 800 by 480 capacitive touch display. This also happens to be Hypno's native render resolution for obvious reasons. The enclosure features controller-inspired ergonomics, but for the purposes of this demo, I'm going to keep it on the table. The front features 3 haptic pressable encoders. These work contextually with a built-in motor to make vibrations on relevant controls to indicate limits and other important values and value transitions. Next, we have the 3 luxurious keyboard buttons that, if you just dig a little deeper, are hot swappable along with the front panel, just in case you feel like customizing your unit. On the back, we have 4 CV inputs that are 0 to 5 volts, an audio in auxiliary jack, and then the USB-C that is 5 volts, 5 amps, so that's kind of a weird rail, so make sure to use the power supply that comes with the Hypno. And then we have 2 micro video outputs, though only one is renderable at a time. These let you output a video to your projector or to the stage. On the right, we have 2 clock inputs, an Ethernet jack, and 3 USB-A ports for peripherals. On the left, we have a power button and then the grill for the built-in microphone. On the bottom, we have these ventilation holes, which you do not want to block, and then we have the SSD door. This stores your SSD that is 250 gigabytes by default, but you can easily upgrade it to whatever your heart desires. The software. First, I'm going to show you how easy it is to record and re-record a visual, and then we're going to dig deeper into the fundamental principles of the user interface. So here we go. Let's record a visual. First, we're going to want to mix in a channel. Here I have a couple things going on. So here's the logo. Then you want to hit a side channel button. So I just mixed in this channel, and I can open the desired file so I can go into the browser, go into my library. Let's just quickly find something quick to open, such as these cool curves. And now we have a new video. Now we can go, rotate it, crop it, mess it up. And now we have a more interesting video. Let's hit record, hit done, and then we're going to get the option to see if we want to keep going. I'm going to pick a channel and then assign it to that channel. Now we have that clip right here in the right channel. Let's resample it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to channel 1 and I'm going to open up a camera by plugging it on the side. Going to see it pop up here in the corner. Go to the camera, hit load, and here we go. There's me doing the demo, going crazy. Now we're going to hit record again. Reassign it. Make it dance to the music. So I'm going to hit the ear, and now when I clap, it's going to move. And there we go. Now I really hope I don't lose my spot. If I like this video, I'm going to hit this little icon and I'm going to have this preset in a quick slot right here in the corner. And that's the basic idea. Now I have a number of interesting clips to use as a music video or playback later as a backdrop for my band. Now that we've got the basic idea of the workflow, let's learn about what is available for us to be able to make more interesting videos. But first, let's go over some general principles of the user interface. Black boxes are tappable, white boxes generally are not. The side buttons represent the channels, and the middle button represents the main out. All the UI controls are contextual and labeled on the screen in a similar layout to the panel. Tapping an encoder zeroes a parameter, and then tapping it again rolls a random number in the default range, in this case 0 to 1. The main screen. You can page across the parameters of a channel by using the arrows on the screen. You can go right or left from the default page, and then if you double tap, it takes you back to the default page of that channel. The arrows to the sides of the channel title lets you advance forward or backward in the current folder, allowing you to try out a lot of different files with your current patch quickly and see which one you like best. Right here, we have the contextual play stop button. I can just stop this channel, just stop the other channel, or stop everything all at once. If a video is loaded that has a bunch of frames, you can use this bar to select which frame it's currently playing back at. This little button with a 0 and an arrow around it is the contextual initialize key. You can use it to zero the settings of the current channel or mod you have selected. So I'm on channel 1, so I can just initialize that channel and the modulations will be taken off. When you're on the main channel, this button will actually initialize everything as indicated by this dialog. If you hit yes, you will get back to black. This is the Save Preset button, which we just mentioned. It saves a JSON to the preset folder. If you rename an underlying video, the links in the preset will be updated automatically. But note that videos are not resaved with the preset. They're just references. So if you delete a video that was in an old preset, it will not load correctly in the future. Here's the record button again. Make sure to hit it to record into the default recordings directory, which is right there. And then you can choose a channel and hit yes in a dialog if you want to immediately assign the recording to the active channel. Now for the mod screen. Hit any of the parameter labels in order to access the mod screen. This screen shows all of the modulations for the given parameter. This page opens on the internal mod, and then hitting any of these markers selects which source you would like to mix in, whether it's CV or the microphone. If a signal is plugged into the auxiliary jack, the ear gets replaced with the wired signal. Hit the page title to return to the internal mod. There are 12 LFO shapes for the mod, and you can set the gain and then the range of those shapes. Some parameters include the all-important infinite shape, in which the range becomes another speed scaler since it doesn't actually have a limit and it's infinite. On the side, we have the two badges for the analog clocks. You can use these to synchronize the internal modulation. Just toggle sync, and then this LFO will then be synced to the selected clock. The clocking is pretty basic for now, but will be expanded in future patches. If things get confusing, remember that this init button can help you reset this page at any time. Similarly, the play button on this page will start and stop the built-in modulation specifically. Now, let's try to pull up something new with the file browser. Just hit the title, and you will see a somewhat familiar browser screen. But this one is special because it's enabled with the encoders. The left encoder scrolls through the browser entries, the middle scrolls the page, and the right one can help you select your desired action. Make sure to scroll all the way down, since sometimes there are extra entries or actions just off screen. Tapping the left encoder will quickly perform the default action, which is usually open or load into the current channel. Then tapping the right one will actually do the action that you have selected here on the right. You can also just touch the screen, of course. Selecting a folder and then hitting open enters a file, and hitting up on the bar goes up a folder. On the top right, we have a few helpful shortcuts that represent the search function, the presets, and then the default library folder. If a USB drive or camera is plugged in, you will see new icons pop up that let you quickly navigate to your peripherals. Hit the search icon to look for stuff in your default library directory. Each file type works in pretty much the same way. You just hit open, it will load into the active channel. Or you can load the entire engine state in case of a preset. The browser supports a few file types. These include MP4s, still image JPEGs or PNGs with transparency support, JSON preset files, UVC camera devices or capture cards, and fragment shaders. So all of the shaders that you are used to from Hypno 1 are, of course, still available here for your enjoyment. Shaders with an FX prefix will load into the main channel, while all others can be loaded into any of the other two channels. If you follow our template shaders, your custom shaders variable names will come up as labels here on the main screen. But more on that in a future video, since that's going to be a pretty in-depth topic. Hit a file or folder name in order to rename a file. You can then go and move the cursor with the encoder and type in whatever you like. The touch buttons on the bottom right represent all the actions that you can take. Aside from common operations like open, move, and delete, some files have special operations. Videos, for example, can be decoded to allow for loading into the channels. Hitting decode on a folder will actually then decode all the videos in that folder. And then we have the checkboxes on the left, which allow you to perform batch operations. Now, let me show you how to export your creations. First, let's find a video. Hit move, and then you'll see a new button come up here. And then, once you have your flash drive plugged in, which I did earlier, you can go into here, and then I'm going to hit move here, hit yes, and then it will go right onto your USB drive. You can do this in reverse to take stuff off of flash drives in order so that you can add new content into the system. Videos that are destined for external drives are automatically compressed into MP4s if they're not already, just so you can save space on your external drives. Now, let's check out the settings menu. This is where you can see how much more space you have left on your device. You can do a few operations such as modify the screen brightness and see some basic system info, or download the factory content. This is also where you'll find your version indicator, which is quite important in case you ever have any issues. When there's a new update available, this version indicator will turn into a button, and then you just hit it and confirm in order to pull the update from the internet. So in order to see that, you're going to need to use this interface here to turn on and off your Wi-Fi, make sure to get connected, or of course you can use an Ethernet cable and you can just plug that right in. And then finally, this is also where we have the go to desktop button. So let's go check out desktop mode. Hypno 2 also supports operation in the regular Raspberry Pi desktop mode. For this, I've included a script that converts the controls to mouse movements, scrolling, escape, space, enter, and then the F11 keyboard keys. Here, almost anything is possible that you can do on a regular PC, such as downloading content, watching DJ sets, or even doing your taxes. The OS is curated with a few useful apps, but you can also check out the open source app store called PiApps. And there you have it. Creating Hypno has been a journey and a half, and my personal obsession for a very long time. So I'm excited to finally get to share this version with you. This new system's compact form factor and this deceptively simple UI make it extremely easy to get lost in there for hours making just the craziest videos, or even get really precise and get down division that you have in your head. And that has been really exciting, and I hope it is for you as well. The new update system should be able to allow me to push updates both to your devices and to docs.sleepycircuits.com basically faster than ever. So make sure to keep an eye on those, sign up to our mailing list, and most importantly, stay sleepy, my friends.